UGLY. You ain't got no alibi, you ugly. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Drika Will, and we back with another YouTube video on my channel where I'm just sharing my experiences, sharing my journey of becoming an artist and all that jazz in the latter half of my 20s. And I'm hoping that what I'm saying and what comes out of my mouth adds value to your life. Let's jump into today's topic. I've been called ugly from all types of people. I mean, family members, peers at school, like you name it, strangers. It was stuff that hurt me. People that I've dated, their family members have called me ugly, and that sucked. I wanted to talk about a couple of stories, just 2 of them today, share them with you guys, and maybe you can relate, maybe you'll find them amusing, or maybe you'll just be like, dang, that's what you've been through, sis. So the first story, I like to call it so effing ugly, okay? The reason why, you'll hear it in the story. So basically, I was 12 years old, I was in the 7th grade, and you know, just like any other kid that's a 12-year-old, most of us, we start hitting puberty around that time. So we all looked like potatoes with acne and boobs shaped like cones. Like none of us was on point or on fleek. I mean, some people, they just were drop dead gorgeous, but that was a rare few. But you know, y'all know how puberty makes us look, you know, middle schoolers. We've all been there. But anyway, I remember I was sitting in class and I was sitting around some girls who they just so happened to be talking about, everybody in the class talking about who's ugly and who's pretty. And y'all, for some reason, I always have been able to overhear when somebody is talking negatively about me, and I hate that. Like they could literally be feet away from me, like 12 feet, I don't know, whatever is like a substantially large amount of feet away from you. I could always hear somebody talking about me from a far distance or near distance. I don't know why. So I was sitting around some girls and they were like talking about who's the prettiest, who's the ugliest in the class. And of course, they were amongst the prettiest group. And lo and behold, I found myself at the bottom, and this is how they did it. So they started ranking, they did it both ways. They started ranking from 1 to, let's say the class number was 25. So 1 being the ugliest, 25 being the prettiest, I would be number 2. And if they flipped it around, it would be 25 to 1. 25 being the ugliest, 1 being the prettiest, I'd be 24. So I was literally ranked as the 2nd most ugliest person in the class. And y'all, when I heard that, that hurt me to the core. So yeah, I remember it was maybe a few classes later, or maybe that same week, I don't know. A few weeks later, I don't know the time difference, but I do remember it being that same year, that same class, same group of girls. So the teacher asked the question and I ended up raising my hand to answer the question. I don't remember if I was right or wrong. It was some book we were reviewing or something. And I remember saying my answer, and as soon as I put my hand down, the girl goes, I can't effing stand her, dog. And then her friend was like, who? And then she's like, Rodrika, she's so effing ugly. And when I heard that, like, she didn't say it out loud. Like, that wasn't something that was meant for the entire class to hear. It was just supposed to be amongst them two. But it was loud enough to where I could hear it. And maybe other people around heard it too if I can hear it. And y'all, I just remember that crushing my little spirit. Like, that started to hit my self-esteem hard for sure. And I just remember after that, like, I think I started kissing those girls' butts. Like, not literally, y'all, but like I started kissing their butts in the sense where like I wanted to just be on their good side. Like I didn't want to be bullied by them. I didn't want them to call me ugly. Like, it's one thing to think I'm ugly, but then to say it out loud and to be like passionately upset about my ugliness was just really like heartbreaking, because it's like, dang, I can't do nothing about it. Like, I was born with this face. Maybe talk to God and my parents and see if they could rearrange some things. So yeah, that was one story. And the next story is called Gorilla. Y'all, Gorilla is pretty similar to the story of So Effing Ugly. So for Gorilla, I was in class again. This time I was 15 in the 10th grade. It was the beginning of a semester, and I had a friend back then. Y'all know the saying, I never seen 2 pretty best friends. Let's just say she was the prettier half of the friendship. And she would never like tear me down and tell me I was ugly. Like, she would always encourage me and tell me I was beautiful. Like, she was a really amazing friend in that season of my life. But anyway, so we're sitting in class, she's sitting in front of me, and there's like, we're on the second to last row. So this is our row, and then there's a row with like some guys, and then there's like all these other people in the class. So the guys that are next to us, they start like pointing out all the girls, like going down each row of every single girl and their rating on how cute they are, if it's a smash or pass situation. And I'm literally like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I hated that. Like, I hated being in the area and around those conversations because I always got roasted, y'all. Like, I always got roasted. So they're going down the road saying all their stuff about the girls, and they get to my friend who's in front of me, and they're saying like, oh yeah, she's cute, yeah, this is that and the third, whatever. So then they get to me. So there's one guy, he was from New York, and like, he was a handsome guy, but I thought he had a horrible personality, and from then I saw him as ugly after that, because I was like, yeah, your personality is trash if you talk about people that way. But yeah, so he is like pretty much the ringleader of the conversation. He's like, yeah, this one, that one, da 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 da. So then another guy who was with him, he goes, oh yeah, she's straight. Like, and they're referring to me. They're saying like, okay, like she's straight, she's okay looking. And I took that, I was like, somebody said I was straight, which is really bad. It was like, but you know, I'll take the compliment, because that's probably one of the best compliments I done got in a really long time in my life. And then the other guy jumps in, and y'all hear he goes, nah man, she look like an effing gorilla. I was like, but mind you, these are conversations that are meant for anybody to hear but those group of people, but for some reason I can always overhear these conversations. So I just sat there, and it's like my heart just sank, and I just was like, here we go again. Like, I'm always being called ugly, always something out of the blue, always something way left. And like, I think I went home, I don't remember if I cried about it, but I know that crushed me. I just remember it crushing me because it stuck with me. And I think it was another one of those things where like I would kiss these people behind because I wanted to be on their good side, so that they wouldn't make fun of me and call me names in school and all that stuff, because nobody wants to get bullied or be told that they're ugly. So yeah, that was my story, and that was my experience with being called ugly. Like I said, it definitely impacted how I viewed myself and how I just allowed other people to treat me. And yeah, eventually I had to learn to shake off the people pleaser in me, the brown noser, the butt kisser, whatever you want to call it, to try and get on these people's good side. Like, it wasn't until recently, like, even though I got saved and I gave my life in 2014, I gave my life to Christ in 2014, like, it wasn't until like the beginning of 2020 that I really started to see myself through the eyes of Christ and really believe that I was beautiful, regardless of what any individual had to say about me. And for me to get to that place, God had to be enough, and I had to surrender what these people thought about me. And that's a whole nother conversation that we can have in another video later on. But y'all, yeah, that's where I was at. So I ended up like, it affected me to the point where I ended up like being this person who always sought the approval of a human being, and that sucks. But anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening to my crazy stories. If you weren't amused, I hope that you could find some sort of comfort or some sort of like, I don't know, something, or like just like, okay, like I'm not alone in this. If you've ever struggled with low self-esteem, body image issues, knowing that like, okay, there is hope. I can come out of this. I don't have to feel this way about myself, and I can look how I want to look, and I can be the person that I am and not have to feel like I got to measure up to somebody else's standards. And let me know, I want to hear your stories. If you guys have any stories about body image or low self-esteem, leave it in the comment section below, or you don't have to leave it in the comment section. I'll leave my email in the comment section actually, and you guys, I mean, I'll leave my email in my in the bio section, or whatever section it is, and you guys can just go ahead and shoot me an email. If this encouraged you or inspired you in any way, that's amazing. Actually go and listen to Pretty Fades. Pretty Fades, there's a whole message in the song about you just being beautiful and just letting pretty fade. And I'm hoping that if this is something that you're currently struggling with, or you've struggled with in the past, that you could resonate with Pretty Fades, and that you can resonate with being free. I want you to resonate with the part of being free from the approval of man. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support and love, and I will see y'all at the next video. And you're not ugly. I know I sang that ugly song at the beginning, but you're not, because Pretty Fades, and you will always be beautiful.